Okay, now it's running. Okay, so just for the purpose of your recording, I will state that this is a soul mini session with Ima. Is it Ima or Emma?
Yes. Well, Gano gave me that name, Ima.
Okay,
So.
Lenore Hopkins.
Yes.
And Mamie Wheeler from the Inner Realm, with Gano Grills also present from Galacticus. So when I do these readings, this is a very abbreviated look. Okay, because what I do is soul readings with people in their own Akashic record through a process of prayer.
Okay.
So I go in and I come out, and I don't stay in your record, and I also don't speak to other beings. I speak only to your higher self and your spiritual committee. Okay. And the part of you that resides in spirit. There's always a part of us that's never left God.
Okay.
So the information is yours, belongs to you, which is why I don't record it.
Okay.
But you're welcome to record it. You're also welcome to share it with anyone you would like.
Okay.
I don't share it, but you're welcome to. So that's my policy of confidentiality. Okay. Simply because most of the people who come to me know each other.
Right.
And so I don't speak about it, even to your teachers or your friends. But it's all your information, so you can do whatever you want with it.
Gotcha.
And again, this is a small look, so when I do look into a soul record, there's a lot of things we can see. But today, the thing I want to do is pull out some small pieces to connect you to your divinity.
Okay.
And to uplift you.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, because those are things that we don't get a lot of, sometimes on this planet. Mm-hmm. Do you have a lot of people around you that are kind of chaotic people?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of confusion energy around you, which keeps you from being able to see your own spiritual path. And you're really kind of being stalked by it, which makes me think it's people in your inner circle.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So let me tell you a little bit about what that's about. There are a couple of ways that souls come here to incarnate on the planet Earth. Mm-hmm. The majority of the people here are what we call Earth or soul types, and they were the body of soul that was created for the planet Earth as she evolved. She had to sponsor a soul group in order to evolve herself. So that's the Earth or soul type. Then there's about 10% of the beings that are here that come from star planets, other places in the solar system or other places outside our solar system. Okay. You're one of those. Okay. So you come from a place in the Alpha Centauri star system. It's actually the Beta Hadarian star, and it's the planet Hadar. And this is a star system that carried the beacon for love. So when you look at Earth, we have different planets that are beaming different pieces of information to this experiment. Okay, so Hadar had the love beacon. So you're shaking your head. You knew this?
Well, my mother always said I was always trying to save the world and I couldn't save everyone, so that makes sense.
Oh, that had to hurt, right? That you're like, wait a minute, right? Yeah, I can't save the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the Hadarians had a bad thing happen historically during the wars in heaven. There were dark groups that came and captured that planet and tainted the love beacon in order to affect the experiment here, so they could have more power. So the Hadarians carry that in their hearts as a burden, that they were not strong enough to keep their planet safe so that Earth could be safe and have untainted love. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, they either were captured by these so you're here, which means you got here one of two ways. You were either captured by the dark forces and brought here as a slave, or you escaped and you went to Alpha Centaurus, and you came with them because they're the protectors of Earth, and they come in. And the Alpha Centaurians were very brilliant. They were very brilliant technicians. They were they were the time travelers. They knew they had the maps to the universe where all the wormholes were. And so this was technology that was very useful to the Alpha Centaurians. And so you oftentimes were on their ships as technicians. So that's how you got here. So you escaped when all the crap went down in Hadar. You escaped to Alpha Centaurus, and you got here on one of their ships as a technician. But all Hadarians carry this burden that they let that happen. So, and they spend a lot of time here researching what love isn't instead of what love is. Okay, so here's what I'm going to teach you about yourself. Not everything you've been told about yourself is true. Okay, so you need to hear me when I say this. It wasn't your fault. Shit happens. Okay, and it didn't last because your planet has been taken back. The beacon's been cleared. Planet Earth can see what love is, and the love beacon is not only a big beacon on a planet, but it's also part of your DNA. So every Hadarian carries in their DNA part of that spark, that beacon that carries the codes for what love is. Untainted love. So this is what your mother knew about you, right? She didn't know how to control it or how to help you understand it with words, but inside of you, in your DNA, is something I don't have, and Gana doesn't have, because we're not from where you are. Is codes for what love is, untainted and pure. Okay? Once you embrace that and remember that, and you begin to research what love is, and demand that from your relationships instead of what love isn't, you're going to make huge leaps and strides in your spiritual development. Okay? It's not hard. That's the other good part of the story, but you're going to need a teacher. Okay? Yes. So pay attention to what you're taught, and he'll lead you through this experience. Okay? The beings that stalk you are called the Changeling Collective, and they're kind of the foot soldiers for the dark beings, the dark overlords, who were the ones who took over Hadar. The reason they stalk you is because they want your juice. They don't want you to learn that you have a love beacon inside your DNA. They want you to continue to feel bad about the part of the war in heaven where the love beacon got tainted. Okay? They want to feed you a lie. And then they can take your juice, right? Because you feel bad. And you go into guilt and worry and depression and melancholy. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So those are not your patterns. They're feeding those patterns to you. And they're creating a screen that you look at and you think it's yours. And it's not. It's theirs. So you have to get really clear with the Changeling Collective. You have to get really clear on setting limits for people in your life that create chaos, that are depressed, that are angry, that are mean and critical of you. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I know who these people are. You know why I know? Because I was stalked by the Changeling Collective too. Okay, so we come from different places, and they wanted me for a different reason. But I know what it feels like to be stalked by the Changeling Collective. One of the biggest people in my world who was a part of the collective was my own mother. So when I learned this work, and I learned how to set limits for her, she flipped out.
Yeah.
So we're going to teach you a couple of exercises, and then there's more exercises, but in the beginning there's some small exercises I want you to start practicing and working with to find out who, and we can also look very closely at a list of people in your life and see who these beings are so that you know who you're dealing with. Now, this doesn't mean you can't love them anymore. This doesn't mean you can't be around them. You just have to know who they are. And you just have to set a boundary for their behavior. Okay? Because this is you, right, in sacred space,
Mm-hmm.
and they got to stand outside your sacred space. They cannot come in and take it, because what changelings do is they come in and they court you, and then they take your juice, they take your goodness, they take your light, and they make you feel bad, and they make you feel like you don't do enough for them. Okay, the reason is because they don't have a connection to light. Their platform is crumbling here, and they don't have the ability to create love on their own. They have to steal it. So they're busy taking it from you. Yeah. So now, I'm going to give you a couple of exercises. One, you have no energetic spheres of protection that you're using right now, but you have the right. You have the birthright in a physical body to have 6 energetic spheres of protection that right out here, right outside sacred space, that protect you and allow love to go both ways. You don't have to let anybody come in to inside of that at all, ever. Okay, that's your birthright. So I'm going to teach you how to use those. I'm going to put them up for you, and then I'm going to have you go to my website on the resource page and download the exercise that's on there about spheres of protection, and I'm going to have you do that every day. Okay? You can put those up every day before you get out of bed and during the day if you feel like it, but absolutely in times where you're feeling like you're being tread upon a little bit, or somebody's throwing negative at you, or someone's trying to take energy away from you, just throw them up. Right there, trust me, if it's a changeling, they're going to feel it, and they'll do this. You know why they do that? Because they're trying to reconfigure. They're trying to reconfigure. They can't. If you do it and they're here and they move, they think they can. It's like a rotating device that they use that does this. It's like a satellite kind of. You've seen them, like the radio signal's good here, but stops being good, it does this, right? So you'll actually physically see them move. And then you just hold your own, keep them up. And they might move again. Sometimes they move 2 or 3 times and then they blow up. You're not a nice person. And so, you know what? I'm just going to go. I'm just going to get off the phone. And they hang up on you or something like that. Okay, whatever, right? See, that disturbs you, doesn't it? Because you know what I'm talking about. You got to learn that that's okay. Because you set the boundary with love, and you tell them you cannot take my love. You got to go to God for love. So I'm just going to ask God to show you love out there, because it's too much. It's too much for me. I got to stay in here in sacred space, and, God can love you. It's okay. Go away. Do that, right? You got to hold firm. The other thing you can do is envision, while you're talking to someone, a 5-pointed star. And you just draw it with your eyes right over the top of them. And trust me, they'll feel it. And they'll move. And then they'll move again. And then they're going to say something nasty to you and leave or hang up on you. That's when you know it's working. Don't worry about it. It's good. They need to go to God for love. They can't take it from you. It's a violation of your free will, free choice. Okay? To allow anyone to take your love, to cord you like that and steal it from you. Okay? So this is a very good exercise for you to work with self-love, which I have a feeling you probably have a challenge with, and to allow others to move along and find love from God instead of trying to take it from you. That's what a boundary is. Okay? It's not mean, like they're going to make you think. Okay? It's actually a really beautiful and good thing, and it keeps all of your goodness in here intact. And it's completely appropriate. When you do that, you're going to grow. Your soul vibrates at 5.2, which is 5th dimensional. Your body here is 3rd dimensional. Your base zone is spiritual. You see things spiritually. You've done a lot of spiritual work. But your soul could vibrate higher. 5.2 is not bad. It's a good place to be. But I would love to see you be 5.8 before you leave the body this lifetime. Maybe even higher. So, you could do some of this work and see that change, and we can measure that change over time, and it's a beautiful thing. You're also going to feel safer on the planet, and you're going to be able to draw more love relationships to you. Because the other thing this pattern does is, I mean, literally when I went into your soul record, I could barely think clear. There's so much confusion, energy around you, and it's just a facade. And it's their confusion, not yours. Okay? Take a big deep breath and feel good about it. You feel like it's going to be hard, don't you?
Well, I feel like I'm trying to carve that boundary for people, and you're right, they're very uncomfortable with me pushing back on them, because I've always been the one to help and be so concerned, and now that I'm kind of going in my cubby hole, they are very upset with me.
Sure. Yeah. So self-love looks like this. I can't do that for you today because I have a plan, and I'm going to do my plan, but hey, good luck with that. Okay? Doesn't mean I don't love you.
Right.
Just can't show up for you today. Okay? That's healthy. What's not healthy is, I have a plan for myself today, can't do that. Oh, nobody else can, please. All right, I'll come. Right?
Yes.
It's called a movable boundary. You're really good at that, aren't you? Yeah, it's not good for you.
Okay.
So you set the loving boundary, and remember, it's always loving. Love is the strongest protector on the planet. You let love flow both ways, but you don't let people come in. They got to stop right there. There's the line in the sand. And you said you're busy carving a line in the sand. You're working it, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. You're not just drawing it. I love that you said carve, because you got that knife and you're just digging that line. You're just going like that. Good for you. That's what you need to do.
Okay.
And it's okay. Expect pushback, though. And this is why I'm honest with you. You're going to get the pushback.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to lose faith in the process, and I don't want you to be scared, and I don't want you to feel like you're retreating into your cubby. That's not what you're doing. You're standing in all your glory with a line carved in the sand. Okay? That's not retreating into your cubby, is it?
No.
Okay. Good girl.
I want to
Good girl.
add something to that too. You as a student, because you've been working on yourself, it is a natural course of evolution for the caterpillar to retract and create a protective shield around itself, and then transform into something that's a lot more efficient, better, and has a lot more abilities than what it used to have. So what that means in your life is sometimes you're going to have to do that, and just like Mamie says, create the boundaries and keep people where you're at as you go in and you work on yourself. And when you re-emerge from that, people are going to be like, and that's what it means. So sometimes that transformation is a little painful. Sometimes it's awkward. And Sam Jackson said something to me that I'll never forget. He says, I'm still the same person I was when I was when I first started doing theater. But the more successful I get, I didn't change. My success changed the people around me. So the work that you are doing is going to force other people to change, because you're not the same. You're changing. And the way people perceive you will be very different than what it was a year ago.
Right.
So the work that you're doing, and you're investing in learning more about who you are, and you're flowering and blossoming, this is what's going to happen, and that's a good thing.
Okay.
Everything in the universe is cyclic, and everything in the universe is intended to blossom, bloom, germinate, and flower. And that's exactly what you're doing.
Okay.
As you still self-correct and you do the things that you need to do to keep you moving forward, onward, upward, and outward, right? That's what's happening.
And being able to use your own gifts, and not allow someone to take it away from you or cloud the picture so that they can sneak in while you're confused and take your gas, which is what the Changeling Collective does. Okay? So, yeah, you have to get real clear about that process and get real good at it. Now, I'm going to give you an example of what happens when you set boundaries like this, when you get good at it. The first time I did it, when I learned it, the first time I did it with my mother, she came in my house and started on me, which was typical. And I did the 5-pointed star, and I said a prayer. You can't while she's going at it. I said, you can't come in. I set the boundary. My shields are up. You have to lovingly stay outside. And she had a temper tantrum in my kitchen. She literally stomped her feet, no joke. A grown woman. My kids are watching and everything. Everybody's mouths are hanging open, right? And I said nothing. I said it all with my eyes, right? She ran out of my house, slammed my door. I told my daughter, go lock the door. My daughter went and locked the door. My mother used her key, came back in, proceeded to continue her temper tantrum, to which I said, okay, enough's enough. Give me your key, okay? Go out and don't come back till I invite you back, and don't hold your breath waiting for an invitation. So she did. She went out. I said to my daughter, lock the door again. Now I got the key. It took her 3 months to call me to try to come back in. Now, this was not a typical 3-month span of time. I was in the middle of a very high-risk pregnancy, where the day she came in to confront me I was actually in labor, losing my baby. Who does that when you're a mom? And the next 3 months were very critical months for me. I was in critical care. Who stays gone when you're a mom? Right? But that's how mean they are. And when you draw the line, they get so angry, they're going to go find juice somewhere else. They're not going to even bother with you. So then, when she came back, I said, here's the deal. You can't do that ever again. You cannot come into my house, treat me like that, talk to my kids like that, or do anything like that, or you'll be banned forever. Is that what you want? Because I'll ban you forever.
Right.
So she said, no, I don't want that. So what she did, though, was she stopped juicing me. She never courted me again. My sisters got extra cords. They called me. Why does she not do this to you anymore? Help us. I taught them. They started doing it, and my mother started losing her mind. She started sliding down into dementia, then she died. It is the way it goes. But guess who took care of her? Guess who kept her comfortable and happy? And guess who prays for her now and provides for her in the spiritual world, where she's very comfortable, by the way. Okay, so you see, it's your job. It's your job to make them do their own work while you do your work.
I'm sorry.
Okay, it is the way it is. So expect it. Okay. Now, you have some other beautiful gifts that you want to be able to use. You work with you work with some very big archangel realms here. You work with the realm of Zadkiel and Gabriel. Are you worried right now?
I'm sorry. What you just
No,
said
don't
about
be
your
sorry.
mom is exactly what's happening with my mom, and she's losing her mind. I'm sorry. I have to go to the next one.
Yeah, take a break. Do you want to stop this for now? I'm going to help your mother, okay? Because she can learn to do it a different way.
Right.
Yeah. She's got a soul of light. She can do it a different way, and it can bring her beauty. And I used to get my mother like gemstones for healing, and I'd buy her books and stuff to do her own work with. And she'd read them, and she'd give them back to me. She'd work with the gemstone. And so, there's things you can do for your mom to help her and teach her. She may carry the pattern to when she leaves the physical body. So the pattern oftentimes for changelings is that they do descend into dementia. Not all of them, but some of them do. If your mom does, you're just going to have to understand it's her pattern. It's the way she's going to exit from the physical body.
Right.
Okay. And it's okay. You're going to love her all the way through. I did my mother too. And I was the one that was there when she died, and I held her hand, and now I send her ancestor money, and I take care of her on my altar, and I can do more for her now than I could when she was in the physical, but I gave her a lot of love. A lot of love. I just set a boundary. You can't steal it from me. I'll give it to you, but when it's okay for me, and you can't steal it. And that's an appropriate boundary for her. So you're just going to do that work, okay? And then you're going to grow. And expand and be better, too. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And she might not be the only one. I have a feeling she's not the only one around you. The changelings run in groups.
Yeah.
So you might have a few more around you too.
Mhm.
So when you set a limit, they have a hive mind, by the way. They're like the Borg with the hive mind. They know each other's thoughts and stuff. So once you set a boundary, the others will get it, and they start leaving you alone. And then you'll be amazed at the influx of energy that you have, that you get to use, that belongs to you, and you'll really grow spiritually. So it's going to be a bit of work, but it's going to really be a blessing for everybody.
Okay.
So let's talk about another gift before we end this session now that you have, because you work with 2 archangel realms. And while you're busy trying to work with all this confusion energy, you're not using your own gifts. So I want you to refocus, set the boundaries so you can work with your gifts. The archangel realms you work with are Zadkiel and Gabriel. So Zadkiel is 2nd chakra and Gabriel is 5th chakra. The way it works is you bring in the energy of the 1st through the 2nd. So Zadkielites are very good at physical manifestation. They're very good at creating wealth on the planet. And they're very good, they're good mothers. They're good. Oftentimes they choose jobs like midwifery, where they're birthing things, or gardening, where they're watching things grow. But they're also very good business people, CEOs of companies. Okay, Gabrielites are communicators. They speak, they write, they act, they dance, sing, draw. Artists. So you have some real gifts there in those realms of being able to bring in physical manifestation and use your communication tools to do it, to combine those. So I'm going to send you some information on those archangel realms, and I want you to study that. And I want you to do the connection exercise, and I want you to start meditating and working with those angels. They're 10th dimensional energies. They're huge, and they can really gift you with direction in life while you're in the physical here. So I want you to kind of redirect. So it'll help you have less fear and angst over this other thing that's going on. By working with bigger and better angels. And talk to your mom about it. Tell her about it. Let her know about all the gifts of light. She may not choose it for herself, but she'll be interested, and she loves you. She wants you to be able to grow. She doesn't understand her pattern and why she does what she does, by the way. So they don't do it consciously. It's a very unconscious pattern.
Right.
So, and by the way, changelings also usually birth beings of light so that they can suck the life out of their kids. It's true. It's what they do. So when their kids stop giving it to them, when you learn how to draw the boundary, they can't find it any other place. So that's usually when their decline begins. The other thing about Hadarians, which is really cool, is that you guys are the keepers of time. So you know how to bend time. And you also know where the maps are for the wormholes in the universe. So as you connect more with your own spiritual group, and I'm going to send you a piece of information on how to connect with the Hadarians. You will learn more about that gift and grow that gift and see what comes in around that. That you can use yourself to grow spiritually and also maybe teach others. So there's some really cool pieces of spiritual information that are your birthright. And I want you to start focusing on those and being able to use those so that you have more joy, more love, and more ease.
I knew about Zadkiel. I started writing down his number and the day to worship him and stuff like that. He has a special day, certain scents that he likes, but I didn't know about Gabriel.
There you go. There you go. So now you got 2. Now Zadkiel's the one you use every lifetime, so you're more familiar with that one. Gabriel you picked for this lifetime. So there's something about this lifetime that you want to bring that information through with the communication.
And I'm in the middle of trying to write my own autobiography, so that makes sense too.
Now, do you think, how many people on the planet do you think would benefit from what we just talked about?
Plenty of people.
How many girls on this planet do you think have people that take from them the way your mom takes from you, the way my mother took from me, the way...
Plenty, probably.
There you go. Consider that. How many people suffer from that? How many people have to leave the room in tears because it's so hurtful? What if you could reach out and explain it to them and help them set the boundaries so they can feel more love and be more effective? Right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. See, you just got really bright just then, by the way. You just took that. You just took that and ran with it. So good for you. Keep that carving going.
Okay.
Work with that 5-pointed star. Do it lovingly. Be ready for the recoil,
Okay.
but just don't take it in anymore. Disallow it.
Okay.
Practice it over time. Trust me, they quit. Yeah, they're not gonna bother with you if they can't get you.
Yeah.
It's too much work.
It's pretty lonely too because I'm the fifth child, so it's 7 of us in my immediate family. So you're right. When one thing is communicated, they all will come at me. I've had like phone calls back to back to back, like, "What are you doing? Why are you in your room?" I got a door for my room because at first it didn't have one. So they're all like, "Why can't we have a key?" You know?
Oh yeah, why
so,
can't we just take? Yeah, right? Now it's kind of funny, huh?
It is.
It's just, when
It's
you
so
look at
funny.
it from a soul pattern, now you're going, wow, yeah, that makes total sense, and wow, yeah, absolutely not.
I feel a lot better, a lot of relief right now.
Good, yeah, because first of all, I'm going to venture out on a limb to say to have a door to your personal space is probably okay. And 99.9% of people on the planet would think that. Yeah, it's a subset of people who don't, and those are just people who want to take from you, right? So yeah, it's like, so, so when you reconnect with that 99.9% of the energy on the planet that gets you and understands that that's not okay, you're going to feel stronger.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but I will send you some exercises to help with that. But Gano can also give you plenty of exercises and different tools and different things that you can use and work with that'll help you continue to work this pattern. Because, they're going to be around you your whole life. I mean, we exist in this world where they exist. So they're with us all the time.
Okay.
It's about learning who they are and setting the boundary.
Okay.
And loving them where they're at, but not letting them take from you.
All right. I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much.
I'm
Yay.
excited
Good.
and nervous at the same time.
Yes. Well, just stay focused in love.
Okay.
And self-love, right? Because
Yes.
love is the strongest protector.
Yes. Okay.
I love myself too much to let you take anything from me. I'm sorry. You gotta stand outside the carving. I
Okay.
laid in the sand and do your own work and talk to God.
Okay.
Peaceful.